Kia ora koutou te whanau, ko Darth Cornelius tōku ingoa, and this is my first video for Te Aotearoa Kai Gatherers. So, a little topic for me today is the health of our ngahere, the health of our awa, and how this impacts our food and how we act as human beings. So, a little backstory on me. I grew up in the Hawke's Bay. I'm from New York originally, and I got thinking, why all these rivers I drive past every day on my way to school and work, the rivers that I grew up swimming in, like the Tutaikuri and the Ngārororo, and the Tukituki, why are they completely sick, sludgy, brown, and why are all the fish and whitebait and ecosystems in them completely dead? I did a bit of research, and it's mainly due to industrial waste, stock effluent, people dumping stuff in them, and silting, which is when there's not good root systems on the edge of the banks. The dirt washes in and covers everything up. And I got thinking of alternatives and ways we could get around this. And one is legal personhood, which is awesome. So in Te Whanganui, they basically, a lot of campaigners and iwi and hapu there lobbied the government and regional councils to get the Whanganui River granted legal personhood. So what this means basically is that this river, this awa, has the same legal rights as a person. So if you're caught dumping into it or decimating it in any way, shape or form, you can incur legal penalties, and even prison sentences the same as you would as assaulting a human. And campaigners and Ngai Tūhoi up in Te Urewera have just got the whole Te Urewera National Park, which is ngahere forest, and the animals that live there, and the awas in which reside, legal personhood. So if anyone wants to destroy, take from these forests, or take from these awa health that can't be restored, again, they incur huge penalties, and thus the damage isn't happening at anywhere near a greater rate as it was. So that's one. And two is phytoremediation and silting. So if you don't know what phytoremediation is, I'm going to include a couple links down below, but basically there are many plants, harakeke, mustard, hemp, the non-psychoactive variety of cannabis, which when planted has an incredibly fibrous root system that draws toxins and heavy metals out of the soil and redistributes them throughout the plant and away from the water system in the ground. And what this basically does is help clean up the banks and the water systems beneath the river and on the edges. And this is an awesome thing. And they've been doing this in Japan for years and years, obviously, until the ban that happened. So I went to a Bostock planting day where we planted a whole bunch of natives, and there were only about 50 people on the page, but when I turned up, 300 from all walks of life, from rich Tesla driving people to Toyota Corolla driving people like myself, Māori, Pākehā, Indian. It was really great. It got me thinking, well, if that was one day and we did a huge part of a stream, the Karamu stream, what would happen if we did it every weekend on a national basis and made sort of a day and a corporate event out of it? So corporates could make money and we could clean up our environment at the same time. So that's something that I'm about to start working on, and that I hope we can all start campaigning for too, because it's cheap, it's easy, and it cleans up the health of our awa and our whenua. And I think we see the sickness in them mirrored in us as people, because if the land is sick, so are the humans. And you see this pretty much everywhere, especially in New Zealand, where we have the highest youth suicide rate in the entire OECD, and huge rates of heart disease and diabetes and cancer. And this is largely due in part to environmental, dietary, and drug factors, but also things like our forests and our rivers. So another thing, aside from the legal personhood and the phytoremediation of hemp plants renutrifying the soil, is also Pinus Radiata. So forestry blocks where they plant this foreign pine, which is actually endangered where it comes from in the United States. When they are chopped down and stripped, the waste falls into the river, number one, which can, as we see in Talaga or Tokomaru Bay up at East Cape, washes out into the seafloor through the river mouths, destroys our fisheries, so you have to go further and further out, and surf casting's not a possibility. And two, the Pinus Radiata acidifies the soil in which it grows. So if you get a forestry block, plant pines on it, they have a huge growth cycle, sometimes they're 12 to 21 years, and then after that, the soil is completely raped. It's got hardly any trace minerals in it, it's acidic. You can't really grow very good food there. So if we replace the Pinus Radiata with native species for forestry blocks, or even hemp as used for our textiles, one, it doesn't destroy our soil, so we can then use it for growing food on after, and two, it doesn't destroy our river ecosystems and our ocean ecosystems, so we have fisheries to basically last us multiple generations, which doesn't seem like it's a happening thing right now. So just have a think about those topics, have a read of the couple articles and watch the couple videos that I've linked. And yeah, thank you for listening, and I'll see you shortly.